Welcome to BoomerTech Adventures video series, The Basics of Using Pages on Your Mac, Laptop, or Desktop. This short video will look at the main menu at the top of your screen once you have opened Pages. So let's get started. I'm going down to my dock because I know that my Pages program is in there, and there's the icon for it. It's got a yellow goldish strip across the top, and there's a little pen, and then there's some text. So I'm going to click on that, and when it opens, you see across the top a menu, and this is what I'm calling the main menu. I'm going to click on Pages first, and the only thing I want you to look at here is where it says Quit Pages. Now, when we look at each of these headings, you'll see, just like in this one, there are lots of choices. We couldn't possibly cover each and every one of those in a short video. So what we're going to show you are those functions that you need in order to get started. As you become a more sophisticated Pages user, you're going to do some exploration on your own, and you'll find even more options that you have. But right here, where it says Quit Pages, this is where you go after you finish your document, you've saved it, and you want to close the program down. So you just click on it, and it's gone. Let's go open that again. Okay, and while it's open, let's say your Pages is not in your dock. Well, if you go up to this little icon, sort of like a magnifying glass there, up in the upper right hand corner, I'm going to click on that, and I've already typed in Pages from previous search, and you see what comes up. It tells me all the things I've had with, it's got the word Pages in it, and at the top is the icon or the word for the program Pages. Now, if Pages doesn't show up when you use this search, that means it's not on your computer, and you're going to need to go to the App Store and download it. So let's get out of there. Okay, back to Pages. Let's look at the second heading in from the left, File. Now, once again, you notice that there are all sorts of choices. Some of them are grayed out. That means they're not active, and they won't become active until I start a new document. So I'm going to go up to New. I'm going to click on that, and when that comes up, you see I get this screen. On the left are all the different types of documents I can create, and on the right, or the major part of the screen, are images of what those might look like. So for example, under Basic, this is your everyday document, either doing it in the vertical or portrait mode, or you could do horizontal or blank, or they have a note-taking. But let's go down here to Fliers and Posters just to show you some of the templates that are available. What's really cool about Pages is that they have a number of templates you could use in order to create your own flyer or poster or newsletter, where you just put in your own pictures and your own text. And in a later video, we'll show how to do this sort of thing. But right now, we're just going to go back to Basic, and I'm going to open a blank document. Now, I just clicked on it once. If I clicked on it twice, the blank document would have opened, but right now I'm going down to the lower right hand corner, and I'm going to say Choose. So here is my blank document, and you can see my cursor, so I'm just going to write something in there. So we have some text, and we're going to go back to File. Now, the other options there is Open, and if I clicked on that, that would give me an opportunity to navigate through my computer to find other Pages documents I've already created, and I could open them. What I use quite often, though, is Open Recent. And that shows me, you see this little box over here, this shows me those files I've been working on recently. And that's a fast way to open them. Moving down, I can close. Here, it's important to know that I can save. This is where I save. I can duplicate the document. All right, so now I have two. Come back over here. Oops, under File. I can rename it. I can move it somewhere else. So let's say I had saved this document to the desktop and I wanted to move it into my hard drive. I would click on there. A little dialog box pops up and you can see that I have choices for where I can move this to. So we'll cancel that. Let's see what else is here. Export. Now this is extremely important. Pages is a program that is unique to Apple. In other words, a person who's working on a PC cannot open up your Pages document unless you export it to something that those computers can read. So you see the choices over here. The first one, the universal one, PDF. If you export your document to a PDF, that means anybody on any device anywhere in the world will be able to open it. They can't alter it, but they can read it. If you go down, you see you can also export to Word, which then somebody on a PC could open a document that you text them or you email them. I would suggest, however, that if you export to Word, just take a minute to do a quick proofreading because sometimes the formatting doesn't translate exactly perfectly. Then you see there are other options. Other things under File, you can see there's quite a few, but let's just go down right to the bottom and this is where you print from. Now, if we move over to Edit, and I'm just going to highlight the text, you can see you can cut, copy, and then you can paste it, you can delete it, you can select all, deselect. When you start to edit, you can track your changes. This is all pretty standard word processing processes, whether you're using a PC or an Apple. You do want to know where the spelling and grammar is. So you come down and again the little box opens and you can see that I've got check spelling while typing. That means I'll get a little red line if I misspell something, and the other choices. However, when I want to do my editing, I'm going to go to Show Spelling and Grammar, and I'm going to click on that. And once again, a little box type pops up, and you will see here, there would be the misspelled word, and then your options down there. And then you can change it, you can ignore it, etc. So we'll close that out, and let's go back to Edit. That's about it for the basics on editing. There are other choices, but like I said, just to get started, these are the functions you need to know. Now the next heading over is Insert. I use this quite a bit. So the first one is Page Break. Well, let's say that I'm working on a document that's got both images and text in it, and sometimes that image just won't fit in correctly before the end of the page. So I put in a page break and that automatically starts a new page and I can insert my image without it running into the margins. And you can see there are other types of breaks you can put in. This is where you insert a page number. You can check your page count. This is also where you can insert your table, your charts, etc. When we do a video, and our third video, we'll be actually starting a document and we'll show you how you use these. As you can see, I'm on chart and look at all those options. Again, beyond just the basic that we're talking about now, but you can see you have lots and lots of images. Oh, I'm sorry, lots and lots of options and images too. All right, so format. You can change your font and your text size and how you align it from this particular heading. There's another place also, which I'll show you in a minute, but also you can format your tables, your charts, etc. This one, add link, is important because if you are linking, you want to put a link from your document to a web page or to an email or to a bookmark. This is where you insert the URL. You would put in the URL and you would highlight it and you'd get directions to make it live. So that's a good thing to remember. I always forget where that is and I have to go searching. And having said that, I want you to remember that if this is your first outing with Pages, you're not going to become an expert overnight. Learning anything new 15 to 30 times before we internalize processes. So know that you are going to have to do some searching when you're actually in the process, but the more you use Pages, the more familiar it will become. And if you're used to Word, you'll see an awful lot of similarities. So let's move on to arrange. This is really pretty much used with images and charts and that sort of thing. And when we create a document, in the video where we actually create a document, we will use this particular heading a lot more and be able to see. But you can see, looking at it, you can arrange how the images are stacked. You can do some flipping vertically and horizontally. You can group and ungroup. View, look at again all those options. I have document only because I like things clean when I am working. However, you can play around with this and perhaps you will want a different setting, and that's okay. There's not one right way to do it. I hadn't mentioned, but over here on the right hand, you will see these are the keyboard shortcuts. And some people like to come up and make their choices through the menu. Others learn the keyboard shortcuts. And again, that's a personal preference. Moving on is share. It is possible to work collaboratively with others in real time on a document, and this is where you would go to organize that. Again, a more sophisticated skill than just the basics, so we're not going to spend time here at this time. The window heading, you can minimize and zoom. You can toggle back and forth between windows, so you notice that I duplicated, so I have two documents showing. So there right now I have Untitled to copy up. You can see the title there. If I go there, what comes up is just the first one I did, which is Untitled. And the last, help. Boy, is this important. You have got to remember help. Because as I said, when you're getting to know Pages or any program, you don't internalize everything right off. And so you've got to be willing to do a little self-help. And the Pages help is pretty good. I use it regularly. We'll wait for it to come up. All right. Up here there is a search window where you can put specifically in what you're looking for. Notice in the middle in blue, so it means it's live link. It's a table of contents. And you can see your options. And then there's also some highlights, so getting started with a template, how to add photos, shapes, etc., how to customize, how to make your text flow. So if you put an image in and you want your text to go around it like it does this camel, show you how to do that. And again, talk about how to collaborate in real time. So the help heading is really important to remember. So those are the main headings of the big menu at the top. In our next video, video number 2, we're going to talk about formatting. Now you remember that you can format from the main menu, but most of the formatting, most people use this menu over on the right and this little menu right here at the top. These are very similar to the sorts of things you do in Word, where that menu tends to be right, the whole thing tends to be right up here. In video number 2, we'll show you how to use these different options and what's the difference between here and doing it up here. Because with an Apple machine, there's usually at least 2, if not 3 ways that you can be able to function or be able to accomplish a task. So that's it for today. I hope you will come back and look at video number 2, which is the formatting. Remember to check us out on the web, BoomerTechAdventures.com. We're also on Facebook. You can just search BoomerTech Adventures. And please think about subscribing to our YouTube channel, because we are always putting up new videos about the iPhone, about the iPad, and about the Mac. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you next time.